Oh, hello again, and welcome to another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
This is the comic book show where we take books from the past week, recap, review them, let you know what we thought about them, and then give you recommendations of books that are coming out this week we think you should pick up. I just got a notification on my phone that this show went live. Did you? If you didn't, then you should probably click the subscribe button to get constant updates about what's happening here on this channel, which is to say, quite a bit of comic book content. And of course, click that bell to actually get the notification, because YouTube is great. So yeah, before we do that, I want to mention that there's going to be this massive comic book show that's happening, a con, if you will.
I don't know if you've heard about it.
Yeah, it's called the New York Comic Con. It's in the New York City area. It's going to be at the Jacob Javits Center on the first week of October. It's the 5th.
It's the third,
5th?
4th, 5th, and 6th. 6th is that Sunday.
So, if you are not going, or you're thinking about going, you should. And if you are going, awesome, we'll see you there.
Ooh.
That's right. Not only will you see us there, and if you do, by the way, see any member of the ComicPOP crew on the floor, outside the show, in a line, say hi, snap a selfie, we're more than happy to do it, but we also don't want to be that guy or girl who's like, hey, you want to take a selfie with me? Because, I don't want to be that person.
No.
For the most part, I assume most people do not want to see themselves in a picture with me. But if you do, don't be timid, ask away. But if your luck isn't really that great and you're not sure if you're going to bump into us, don't fret, because there's going to be at least 2 opportunities for you to schedule some kind of meetup with any number from 2 to 4 members, 5 if Danielle's around.
Who knows?
Of the ComicPOP crew. There's going to be 2 of those things. The first of which is we're going to be doing a signing at the Valiant booth.
Woo!
I don't know what day that's going to be.
We're not sure about the details of that yet, but more to come.
We just know that at the Valiant booth, on some day during the show, of those many days that the show is happening, we will be at that booth selling posters and signing them and giving them to you. Also posing for selfies and whatnot.
Maybe.
In addition to that, maybe. No, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we're also going to do just a casual, no frills, no cost meetup over at the DC wing. I hesitate to call it a booth because it's not really a booth. It's literally just like the wing of the Javits.
Unless they've moved.
They will not move. There's no... I haven't checked, but I guarantee they haven't gone anywhere.
If nothing else, it's like the down one.
Not too down, though. There's more down to go in the Javits.
No.
Just go to the DC wing and you'll see us there. And we'll hang out there. We'll pick a time and a place. And if you want to know more about that, follow us on the various social medias. But we'll also make a video at some point, either a bumper or something like that. But actually, if you click the community tab on this channel, go up on the top there, click the community tab. Not only will you discover that I've been posting on there for the past year, but also any details about it, you're going to get a notification about that. So it'll be there. So you'll be able to see,
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
that's cool.
I'll write a whole thing that says, what is going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how you can make it happen with us. Okay. So, yeah. Also, this show is sponsored directly by viewers like you. That's right. You sponsor the show. How do you do that? I didn't get any memo. I didn't sign any W-2s. Well, don't worry about it. So all you have to do to sponsor the show is use the super chats. And not only do you also help the channel out, you pay our bills and keep these lights on, you also get to ask a question, make a comment, or something like that. And it's read here on the show. We don't cut that crap out. This isn't like one of those Patreon videos where at the end of the video, we scroll your name and everybody always clicks off that. No. We read your name and comment on the show so that there's no way you will not be part of the show. So anyway, we encourage you to do that as we go forward.
Yes.
I don't usually incorporate Tiffany into these bumpers because I've been saying them for so long, they're second nature to me, but also I don't want to just put you on the spot and be like, hey, sell the super chat thing.
Because I'm so not ready for that.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, no, I don't want to do that.
No, it would be really...
It'd be like this.
Yeah.
No.
Just hang on.
That's right.
You can super chat at us.
Speaking of which, Ben Bastian says, Sal, if Backish's crew was the Fantastic Four, who'd be who? I think Tiffany would be the Thing, I would be Invisible Woman, Ethan would be the Human Torch, and Ben, of course, would be Mr. Fantastic.
Did you just make that up?
I deliberately chose the opposite of what I thought everyone would be.
Somebody in the chat did say that I would be the Thing. It's clobbering time.
She'd be Miss Thing or She Thing.
Yeah.
In any case, no, I think I think the Bens align, although I really do
Let's just be honest. No.
Ben is the Human Torch.
No, well, I was gonna say Ethan is the Reed Richards. Ben is the Invisible.
Yeah.
And you and I can split up the other two.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I would take Benjamin J. Grimm.
Right?
But, yeah. All I know is Ethan's Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And as if Siad's helping us out in a big bad way. Thank you
Right.
very much. As if
We all know that Ben would totally go for that costume redesign with the 4 cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the boob window?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ben would be all about that.
I think Ben would want to be... It's more like, it's like what I want to be, what I actually am. Ben's like, I want to be Johnny Storm. What I actually end up being is Sue Storm.
Hey.
But, hey, and by the way, Sue's a high praise.
Dude.
Not only does she have a major miniseries written by Mark Waid that I'm sure everyone's reading.
No, Ben would be really dangerous with that.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, it's actually a high compliment to say that you're Sue Storm or Sue Richards because it's like you are overlooked, but also immeasurably powerful.
Yeah, no, and I don't mean like dangerous, like he'd actually like kill us or anything like that. I mean like Ben really...
Like he's here right now.
Right, and we would smell it.
Right, all you'd know is just like... Thankfully, patented, pending.
Yeah.
Fart gun.
Fart gun, there. That would be Ben. It would be the worst ever.
Yep, this show has become a morning DJ rock block where it's just like, hey, welcome to the number 90210. Boop, 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 boop. Anyway, let's jump into it.
We're not doing that.
No, let's not.
What were we talking about?
Let's talk about Daredevil because like it's oft overlooked
Yes.
and most folk don't really have it on their radar.
Right. I know you're really digging it. And I've been seeing this cover everywhere.
Really? Because it was hard for me
Maybe
to
it's
find a
just
high res
because of
version of this
you.
cover. Yeah, it's me. Daredevil. This was number 11 from Chip Zdarsky and Marco Cicchetto, or Cicchetto. This book is great. I picked it up because Spider-Man's on the cover, but I'm also reading the series. Like,
Let's be honest. If you weren't, you would have been like, okay, Chip, let's see, post life stories.
Yeah, if you still got the
what's
chops.
going on with Spider-Man in Daredevil?
It's funny because whenever Zdarsky sticks Spider-Man into his Daredevil run, which I think Spider-Man showed up at least 2 times.
Okay.
He always uses that opportunity to be like, everyone else thinks Spider-Man's a chump. Boom. Like, here's Spider-Man being the world's greatest superhero, or, like, my favorite superhero.
Right, well, I don't understand that, concept of him always, people seeing him as a chump, a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Because,
I understand interpretations.
Well, every event, he's a chump. He never does anything interesting or special or, played to his strengths. He's always just, happy to be there, says a few quips, maybe gets a tie-in book. And that's pretty much the role he plays. Mm-hmm. Unless you're reading Avengers vs. X-Men, in which it's all that plus his character.
Right.
But Daredevil, this is the beginning of a new arc, but it's all steeped in the lore that Zdarsky and Cicchetto have kind of tossed out there. Mm-hmm. In which Daredevil's kind of dialed it back. He accidentally killed somebody, and so his Catholic guilt is completely destroying him, and he's just he doesn't want to be Daredevil anymore. He's knocking it off. He's wearing this kind of all white suit. In the last issue, he bumps into Elektra. Elektra's knock it off, you're Daredevil. What?
Nothing. He's wearing an all-white suit. When will Khonshu be a knockin'?
I hope soon.
Being dude.
You're horning in on my territory.
No, not just you're horning in on your territory. Hey, I like your suit, man.
Right.
Give up your
Yeah, screw the devil.
Trust me.
Have you heard the word of Khonshu?
Have you? Because Matt Murdock, the new Moon Knight.
Yes. That'd be neat. That being said, it's just a baller story, and it really if you liked the Daredevil show, or if you think you like Daredevil as a character, you're gonna love this series.
Is that Aunt May?
No, it's not. It's just an old woman. It's actually a mob woman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, I can see Aunt May.
Yeah, there's this whole thing with the mob, and I know. Right?
I would call my arc, by the way, it'd be the Daredevil in the pale moonlight.
Oh. I like that.
Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah. Anyway, there's this cop who's dogging Daredevil and is trying to catch him because he's you killed somebody.
I remember that guy.
Yeah. Well, Spider-Man basically bumps into him. Not unlike in Batman Year One when Gordon would set traps for Batman. Yeah. This cop is also setting traps for Daredevil or Spider-Man. I can't really. I'm not sure which one it's with.
He's happy to get anybody.
In any case, he catches the attention of Spider-Man. Spider-Man's nice try, but I'm not an idiot and I know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And then he just grabs the cop and he whips him up and he runs away with him. And then he basically just reads in the riot act where he's like, you have no idea what it's like out there. Like, you're a cop, you do your job, I'm a superhero, Daredevil and I are crime fighters, we do our job.
Right.
And he's like, oh, so you're like friggin' in charge? That's your thing? And Spider-Man's like, yeah. What would you like me to do with these spider powers? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
what would you like Matt to do? I'm not going to call him Matt, obviously. I'm not going to ruin his life. But, like, basically, it's just a really cool moment with Spider-Man kind of, like, dressing this guy down, but also still, like, giving him an opportunity to rise up.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a story or a subplot where, like, Wilson Fisk kind of, like, captures the owl, who looks like the early 2000s interpretation of Logan in the mangas that they were trying to do back then.
Yeah, no, I was like, why does he have Wolverine? And I was like, that's not Wolverine.
No, it's the owl.
That's not Wolverine.
Yeah, but basically, Fisk tries to, like, kick the owl out of New York. The owl's, like, not having any of it.
Right.
And, yeah.
Ooh.
Hoo. And it's pretty fun. It's just, like, it's great to see to see Fisk still being Fisk, despite, like, this kind of, like, character limbo that he is in as the mayor.
Yeah.
But also establishing that, like, the owl is a force to be reckoned with and is a major player. And, so... You know, it's just a cool book about, like, Matt trying to atone. The feeling of this story is just guilt. You can feel it. You know.
That's like kind of back to, you know, his roots then.
Yeah.
And I like that. Is that girl still around from the beginning?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
And, like, yeah, and it turns out she's married. She's a kid, and Matt's still stupping her, and so yeah, more guilt. But it's like that kind of guilt where you're like, you know that there's no way he would stop. You know, it's like I just feel bad. I'm selfish, but I'm also Catholic.
Right,
so.
He's selfish, but he's also like there's something about Matt where it's just like he almost puts himself in the situation to continue to feel said guilt. Like anytime that he might make headway, it seems like he's like, I'll find another reason to mess up. Like he's like sabotaging himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is pretty much in keeping with his character, or at least one version of his character.
Right.
But Zdarsky, there's no like humor or fun. It's just guilt and being miserable.
Okay.
But it's great looking and it's competent.
Yeah.
So I've got to give it all these marks because it's just good.
Okay.
Like just read it because
that's fair.
You'll be like, oh, this is really cool. Like it made me feel things. You know, like I felt that guilt where I'm like, I know that guilt. I know that how that feels. Not like I know how to kill somebody, but like I certainly know like the feeling of doing something you can't take back.
Okay. Yeah.
And then being like, but I didn't die.
I don't know if I can handle this book.
Right. Yeah. But I didn't die, so now I have to live with it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can handle this.
I hear you. So it's Daredevil, grab it.
Okay.
And Spider-Man's in it for like I think 3 pages.
But you know what?
They're pretty stellar It's not bullshit.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. Like a few pages can speak volumes.
Yeah.
So
and they do.
That's great.
Read it.
Excellent.
Check it out.
Excellent.
Tiffany, what do you recommend?
Recommend?
Well, what are you reading? What did you read?
say we talk about Doctor Strange. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, why not? Because everyone loves Doctor Strange.
I do
Mark
love
Waid.
Doctor Strange. I'm wearing my Doctor Strange shirt today. I almost wanted to do so just to prove that I do. I love this shirt. I vectored this to make it possible for us to have.
Yeah,
this
you love
shirt.
this shirt so much. There's a Funko Pop of you
wearing that shirt. I didn't really put 2 and 2 together until Sal held it up, and here it is.
Yep, she's pretty great. It's a custom. But dear Funko, I hate your pops, but I'll
art
take
imitates
it.
life.
Yeah, but no, you did make this shirt. Actually, if you go to tpublic.com/ComicPOP,
I can't really take credit for making it because the design is obviously
it exists.
It exists, but it
but
was
you
just
vectored
at
it.
the time I couldn't get a hold of this shirt, and I wanted it so badly that we threw it up in the store so I could have it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, they like it so much that someone took it and then added the Eye of Agamotto to it.
Yeah, it's fine.
So they're selling it too.
Whatever. This is by Mark Waid with art by Jesus Saiz.
I know that artist.
Yeah, and it's fine. You know what it is? The art's fine, and I'm not a fan of the coloring on it. This story is further proof that Mark Waid wants to do everything and anything with Doctor Strange that he can, even though this series is ending and he's starting on another series.
Right, we
of
thought
Doctor
it was like
Strange.
he was done.
Right. But, like, this series has proven that, like, Mark Waid just wanted to say he did everything. So he's ticking all the boxes.
Right.
Like, and that's really what this is. And these past 2 issues, 18 and 19, have been these like tiny, small stories.
Yes.
Like these little like...
Which you were like, oh, great.
Right. And I dig the concept of... But each time there's a caveat where I'm just like, but this... The last one was really just like, we're having fun, whatever. Like, it could have been a little tighter. And this one is a complete shift in his character by the end.
Ugh. Okay.
Starts off, there's a mom and her son. They're driving back in New York, in mid-state New York. It's raining, and like a ghost shows up and causes them to have an accident.
Oh no!
And that's like the ghost does it on purpose. Like he's a dick. He died on the road.
It's a dick ghost.
Yeah, and he's not even sure if like it was his fault that he died, whatever. But he died, and he's like vengeful about it. So he's like caused a lot of accidents.
Just being
here.
a jerk about it.
Just being a jerk, like ghosts do.
Yeah, I guess.
Hey, you know what? I don't put it past them.
Way to open yourself up to a haunting.
Damn it. But then like it's a really bad wreck too. I mean, it is raining, so I'll give it that. And like they had no GPS, but car flips over. Strange shows up. He tries to banish the ghost. It doesn't work, and he's like, "All right, I'll figure that out in a minute." Because he realizes that like he checks on the woman, and she's like, "Okay," and then she's calling for Danny, her son. He realizes he's not alone, or she wasn't alone. He checks in the car. The kid's real messed up.
Oh no!
Like real messed up. Basically like something ruptured in his head.
Ugh.
And like blood is filling between like the cranium and the brain, and like surgery would need to be done.
Yes,
ASAP.
right now.
ASAP. So Strange, knowing that he can't get an ambulance here or anything like that, which I was like,
why?
I feel like he
teleportation.
could. I really feel like he
cloak.
could. Yeah.
He has
Anything.
a flashlight, for God's sake.
But like this story, by the end I realized why. Because he wants something very specific to happen in the story, so we're gonna ignore anything else that could have
that
been
would get
done.
in the way.
Yeah, of that. And like so, like there are elements to the story I really dug, like this feeling of helplessness as he's looking at this kid. He's just like, I know exactly what's wrong with this kid, and
right.
I
could have done
anything.
something about it.
Yeah, I can't do anything about it. But he's like, there's no magic spell that will fix this, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah, like Aunt May.
right. It's like, fine. There's no magic spell that will fix this. I mean, I think you could get this kid to the hospital in order to have it
using
done,
magic,
or find a surgeon. But I mean, fine. He's saying that this kid has like mere moments, and then he proceeds to go to a demonic dimension where he meets Chanok.
Okay.
I believe.
I've heard that name.
No, you haven't, because he was created by Mark Waid.
Damn it!
In this,
it sounds familiar.
Yeah, and maybe another incarnation of him has existed or whatever. But he's the keeper of like an infernal library. It's a library of like spells and you know, books that no one is meant to read, but like if you do, they're like cursed or whatever. So like there's a price to pay, because like Mark Waid has decided that like he's going to beat you over the head with the idea that magic has a cost, and I get it.
That's been the theme since Aaron
like,
took over.
But like he just keeps like it's like we have to say it. We have to say it.
Well, yeah. Well, otherwise, like you won't remember it because you're not reading Doctor Strange.
I guess, but I'm like, I don't know. I feel like he should like believe that we recognize what it is without having to say it. He looks like a Cenobite, kind of.
Awesome.
It's an interesting design. Again, I wish the coloring was a little stronger on this. Strange is looking for a very specific book. Now, I thought the book was going to heal the kid.
Right.
No. The plan is he's going to heal his hands.
Right. I'd heard the solicitation for the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I didn't. I actually
like
saw the image of it.
plan.
I actually didn't read what the book was about. So like I'm reading this and I'm like, where is this going?
Right.
So Strange.
Does he like learn like?
So like, here's what I struggle with this. This is an interesting concept, and I just don't think that this issue earned it.
Right.
So. Look, here's what happens. He takes the spell. Chanuk's like, oh, like, here's a couple things that could happen. It's like the book of even odds or something like that.
Okay.
It's like, you take this book, it could totally heal your hands. Or it could, like, sever your connection to magic. Or, like, all this other crap could happen. You could be cursed, whatever.
It's worth it.
There's a price.
Yeah.
Like, but it's like, you could lose all your magic. And then this world won't, like, have a Sorcerer Supreme. And it's like, but it would eventually.
They'll just call Dr. Voodoo again. Or
Brother
Dr.
Voodoo?
Doom. No, they called him Dr. Voodoo when he became Sorcerer Supreme.
Why?
Because Doctor Strange.
No, he was a okay. Anyway, so like he goes back, he reads the spell, and I'm like, this must have taken a bit of time.
Yeah.
This kid...
Well, unless there's no time that passes in the dimension for Chinook.
Well, then he could have taken the kid there and like put him in stasis. And then
oh yeah, that actually would have made sense. That's like having
and then prepped like some people for surgery and then brought the kid in.
That's like having your girlfriend's dying father and the ability to both make and cure lizard men, and not just jabbing him with it, making him into a lizard man so that he doesn't die, he heals from his wounds, and then just curing him later.
I thought you were going to say it was like having a time machine and saying 15 minutes ought to be enough.
Yeah, right? Good call, Marty.
So he goes back, he reads the spell, his hands seem to unmake themselves, and then they remake themselves. And
but they're healed.
But they're healed, and he's fine, so he starts the surgery using the Amalgamato to, like, use as an x-ray and blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, all I need is to not be disturbed.
So we're going to disturb him.
Right, do you remember in the last issue when the exact same thing happened?
Yes.
That's what happens. The ghost shows back up, and he's just like, oh, clearly he's, like, angry about whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, he tells the woman to take the Eye of Agamotto and, like, point it at him and make him feel, like, all of the agony and stuff that she feels. It's like a penance stare.
Okay.
So he uses it, and the guy's like, oh, I'm sorry. And he, like, poofs away. And Strange fixes the kid.
Cool.
And it's like, oh, and they go off to the hospital. And he's like,
now
I'm
what do
healed.
I do?
Ha-ha.
Wait. So, like, was the cost the potential to lose something?
So I think the
or does
cost
he owe
is
the demon stuff?
I think the cost is something that's going to happen later on, because Wade clearly wants to set up something for this new series that's coming up, where it's going to be like, oh, he'll be doing blah, 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 and then, like, whammo, no, he won't. It's like...
Well, it's like back to status quo.
Right, and, like, here's the thing. I get the idea of, like the story potential of giving Strange back his hands, where it's just like, man, you, like, he was humbled by the fact that he couldn't, like, you know, perform surgeries anymore. What will happen now? That's cool.
Right.
But this issue didn't feel like the issue where it should have happened. Like, I feel like that's something that Wade could have been working on this entire time.
Yeah, that could have been the build.
Right.
Like, why is it now that he justified? Like, why wasn't it set up, like, earlier? Like, damn it, if only I'd had my hands.
Right, or something like that.
In every instance, he needed his hands, and he couldn't use them, so he had to, like, be more clever.
Yeah, I just feel like, again, this is an interesting concept. I just don't think Wade executed it in the strongest way possible. No. And I think interesting stories could come out of this, because at the end of the day, they will probably re-break his hands anyway.
Sure.
So it's fine, and, like, I don't mind that status quo shift. I just prefer it when it's earned.
Absolutely.
And that's really my biggest beef about this. So I don't necessarily say I recommend it unless you're looking to pick up the next series, because if you are, that you're definitely going to wonder where this all started from.
Sure.
It would be here. It would be issue 19. Again, it was just kind of a standalone issue in what's been going on. The next issue promises that Kana returns. Remember the alien he met?
Oh, yeah.
So she'll be back.
She hates him, though, doesn't she?
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's not going to just wrap that up.
Probably.
For now, so...
Kana returns and then goes away.
Right, because...
he made Clea get away, so maybe Kana will be the new Clea. She is magic, right?
Yeah,
Kana?
kind of.
Space magic.
Well, like item magic. Anyway, there you go. That's it.
Cool.
That's all I got.
Nice. All right, well...
Wait, do we have super chats?
We do have super chats, actually. Good point. We'll jump into that. Alex Sanchez, hey guys, big fan since 2015. Well, thank you very much for being here, man. Keep up the great work, or great job, anyway. Thank you very much, Alex. Thanks for hanging out with us, and thank you for the kindness. Mr. Supertastic, just checking the tangents on Facebook, and I saw that you also do quick reviews on different... which was a surprising plus. Yeah, I do a little, like, blurb reviews on the Facebook page.
On different books?
On different books, yeah. That we're, like, not going to do, or that I, like, probably won't talk about on this show.
Right. Or, like, you know, sometimes, like, we read a lot, or Sal will definitely had the chance to read a lot more, and then it's like, we're watching the time tick down.
Exactly. I'm like, I don't have time for this. But, yeah. No, and I'm, like, I'm taking, like, older shows that are either, like, dead or not, like, being viewed or just, like, old, and I'm throwing them on the Facebook page. So if you want to watch them, facebook.com/ComicPOPofficial, or just check the description if you forget, because there's, like, a million links down there. But thanks for the plug, man. Adam Groves, did you read Gwenpool issue 2? I loved it. I'm glad you liked it. I hated the first issue, so I'll probably not be reading any more of the series. It's a mini-series anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm out. I like Gwenpool a lot, and I think The Unbelievable Gwenpool was an amazing series, but I don't remember which one it was. It was the one by Hastings, but it's like, it's great.
Okay.
This ain't. For me. Price 8040. Speaking of Khonshu, Tiff, did you hear about... sorry, I just scrolled it. The Conan and Moon Knight crossover. It's coming up.
I didn't. I'm a little worried, too, about their, like, use of Conan, because, like, remember when they got Angela, and Angela showed up everywhere, and then everyone was like, cool, thanks.
Yeah, but they also didn't do anything with her. Like, she kept showing up, but, like, not being interesting or valuable.
Right, and Conan, I think, is interesting, but I'm afraid they're going to be shoving him too many places where people are going to be like, okay, enough with the Conan, I get it.
I think they're already like that.
So many times that Conan can, like, you know, run into someone and be like, what's going on? And it's like, I understand that. Like, but I'm digging a lot of the Conan books that are coming out. I just want them to kind of slow their roll on this.
Yeah.
treat it responsibly.
Agreed.
Treat your Conan responsibly.
Z-Berm says Superman's going to be revealing his secret identity soon. That's a big solicitation that came out from Bendis' book.
Sure.
Do you think Bendis has become a total hack? Would you be picking up a Superman Giant at comic shops? I don't know what that means, but no.
Is there a giant size coming out?
If there is, I'm not getting it. But yeah, I don't understand, but throw it in the chat and I'll try
what about the rest of it?
Recover it. As far as the secret identity thing, no, Bendis isn't a hack. It's just he's doing that thing where it's like you're not suited to do this. Like,
yeah,
I appreciate that. Like you made your bones, you worked really hard, you wrote all this great stuff, and you're like, you're a titan in the industry, and you probably really wanted to have like a steady movie job, doing like script doctoring and maybe like doing your own scripts for Marvel and stuff like that. And then they kicked you out, and you're mad about that, so you went over to the other side. And maybe you want to get over to the Warner Brothers side. I get all that.
Yeah.
But like you made your bones writing stories like Sam and Twitch and the New Avengers, which was made up of like street level characters. Like just because you can write Superman doesn't mean like maybe you should. And
I figured it out. It's
okay.
the Superman. It's Walmart's DC Giant comic magazines.
So like
number 15 is no longer exclusive to Walmart.
Oh, cool. Well, that makes sense because
so then
no one was buying
would you go
them.
to a comic book store and grab that?
Maybe. I'm trying to go back and pick up the Superman Up and Away series, which is by Tom King, which is I think just a reprint of the Walmart series in general.
Okay.
But I did go to Walmart. I grabbed like a suite of books the first time, and I was like, this sucks. It was just all reprints.
Yeah.
It was like really hard to dig through and find the real stuff.
Right.
So like I think that experiment was a colossal failure.
Well, I think it was, again, like, their intention was for getting new people,
right? And they didn't do it.
No, because I think well,
you've seen where they are.
Well, it's also like the majority of people who were purchasing them were people who were looking for them, who had already read some of these stories, and so like I think it was just kind of a misstep on a lot of different levels. And I'm not saying it's all DC because I think Walmart didn't do the best job at promoting them or promoting who they were.
Yeah, no, I got to commend DC actually for trying something.
Yeah, and possibly adding in the new story wasn't the best idea. Because it made it so that people wanted that because, current comic readers want to know what the new story was about, as opposed to if you really wanted new readers, maybe just reprinting some older stories would have been a better call. Because you can get those stories. You can get them anywhere else.
That's true.
I don't know.
But I don't think that is a hack. It's more like you shouldn't be writing Superman. But it's a good indication, actually. Like Superman revealing his identity in like an upcoming Superman story is a really good indication for readers because it means that they will let Bendis do anything he wants. Like, he can do anything.
Okay.
Like, there's no one at the editorial level who's going to be like, we kind of just did that, like, a few years ago, and it was really unsuccessful, and, like, no one really liked it.
Right.
Like, there's no version where anyone can, like, edit him or tell him, like, I don't like that idea. Because clearly, like, Superman revealing his identity is, like, a first idea. Rogol-Zar is, like, a first idea. Like, these ideas are kind of like, just like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I did this? And then it's like, yeah, but, like, don't just do that then. You gotta, like, hash them out. Write all your ideas down, and then you sift through them, and maybe on your 12th idea, you have a great one. Yeah. With this, it's like, all of Bendis' first ideas will get not only, like, agreed with, but greenlit and put through. So... It was funny. I was reading. This is unrelated, but like they made Tim Drake wear a brown costume, and they changed his code name from Robin to Red Robin to now it's Drake, because it's like screw secret identities. Then why is he wearing a mask? But I was like, man, like, and I was reading this like this like mental and scripting gymnastics that this writer was trying to explain as to like how in the New 52, which is still what this universe is. Don't let like the Rebirth era fool you. They were trying to justify and explain like how A Lonely Place of Dying, that story that introduces Tim Drake into the Robin mythos, like happened, but also didn't happen that way. And it made me think like I really feel bad for writers who've waited like their entire lives to write stories about characters that they love in a universe they never asked for. Yeah. Like all these people wanted to do was write about Tim Drake, or like all these people wanted to do was write like Guy Gardner, and they have this shit to work with, and they're like, oh. so they have to like do all this like the only reason they're doing it is for you and themselves. They're not doing it for
Right.
like editorial. They would rather they didn't. Anyway, it was a thought I had recently.
Yeah, no.
Cash Money in the Bank says, hey, have you read any Venom by Cates? I was really skeptical when my local comic shop proactively put Absolute Carnage in my pull box. Here, buy some tie-ins. But I'm enjoying it so much, I even went back to the start of his run in trades. Yeah, Cates' Venom is hailed as one of the best Venom runs pretty much of all time. I like the ideas. I was like reticent to the idea of like Null and the Gods and all that crap because like I don't think Venom needs or deserves that much backstory or that much depth of like universe world building.
Sure.
Like I liked it when it was just like it was a mistake. Like, it was a costume, it did this, and it's mad. Like, I liked that. And I liked even, like, the later on stories where they were like, let me justify why he's, like, not, sympathizing with the costume. You know, like, hey, listen, like, it's easy to demonize the X. But, like, let's look at it from their perspective, you know? It was an alien costume that was born beyond the stars. It wasn't supposed to feel guilt and jealousy.
Right.
You know, and maybe some of Spider-Man's guilt imprinted onto it and, transferred. So, but I don't know, like, I think if it was anyone else, it would really suck. This thing I didn't ask for is actually well executed. Just because I don't necessarily want it doesn't mean it's not great. And I agree. So, there you go. Like, I dig it. I dig it, but it's like, again, it's not for me. But that's because it's aliens and stuff.
That's fair.
P.A. Stewart, no question, just stopping by to say hi. Have fun at New York Comic Con. Thank you very much.
Hi.
One of these days you gotta come out. It'll be a lot of fun. Mr. Roboto says, if a person gets Doctor Strange and Conan together, is all your money theirs? Also, I just realized the X-Men are very weird outside Magneto and Charles. Yeah, the X-Men are weird. I mean, like, that's kind of implicit. Like, the X-Men are supposed to be weird.
No,
But,
I get no profit or percentage for any of the books that I push or that you push.
No, it's true. But yeah, no. I just mean, like, do you give them all your money because they do that crossover?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Wait, who's the person? Aaron?
I mean, it would have to
It has to be Aaron.
It would have to be Aaron or Duggan or Zub.
I want Aaron.
Well, yeah.
Well, Aaron because he's like recently done like both of them, and I like both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's true. Pricey 8040, magic as a cost, just like Marvel Editorial, undo One More Day, undo Doctor Strange's relationship, and fix his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you and Clea, nope, she doesn't love you. She didn't even know who you are.
That was the thing that they made him do. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
You didn't need to undo the relationship between Clea and Strange. There already wasn't one.
You know,
like, they had one and it was over.
They literally could have one more date him he could have one more date him by literally combining these two plot concepts where it's just like, you want to save this individual or whatever, and he makes a deal with the devil basically to get his hands back.
Yes, that's the thing to do. Yeah, and it's like, what did I give up? It's like your entire relationship with Clea.
Yeah, and it's like,
as opposed to him being like a friggin' jackass, like he always is.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is, like, in the modern era, Doctor Strange, like, has to be, like, he's a hero and also a dick.
yeah.
He sacrifices his, like, goodness to be, like, he sells his soul, or he betrays his teammates, or he mind whammies Clea himself.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
no,
right.
but, like, he did make the deal, but I'm just saying, like, I know the deal was for something else, but it's like, I would have also been happy.
Oh, yeah.
With, like, not happy with that, but
No, but it would have been
palatable.
palatable.
At least it would have been like, oh, haha, you're doing one more day.
Yeah, right. Mr. Supertastic. Oh.
No.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Supertastic Strange gets his hands saving Clea or the universe.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, yeah, you get it. I'm going to put a pin in this for now, just jump into another review.
Yes.
Because that's what you're here for, but you're also here, of course,
Yeah,
for these great things.
Let's do some reviews.
Let's talk about Batman Universe, number
Okay.
3, which is one of those Walmart books.
I wanted to read this. I didn't get the chance to. I wanted to read it mainly because there's dinosaurs on the cover.
There's dinosaurs in the book, too.
That's awesome. There's even a T-Rex there.
Yeah. It's by Bendis and Darrington. It's so great. It's the best Batman book.
He can get a new dinosaur.
Yeah. It's the best Batman book on the stands.
Nice.
Like, you need to be reading this. It is the best Batman book. And that's saying something because, like, Tomasi is also doing a Batman book.
Right. Yeah.
But this is the best one. And it has everything to do with Nick Darrington drawing it. But, for some reason, Bendis has, like, reverence for Batman. And so Batman isn't a complete idiot asshole. nor is he written completely out of character. Like,
Well, that's nice.
Batman is on this journey. You know, obviously the idea behind the title Batman universe, which is like a rehash. It's not a rehash. It's like a reinterpretation of what the book was before when it was published in Walmart Comics. But like, it's Batman going across the universe, and in every issue he like teams up with another member of the DC universe.
Oh, that's fun.
And so he's been chasing this like Fabergé egg that was stolen by the Riddler, and it's changed hands, and it transported him to Hawk World, and he gets arrested by the Hawk people. This is the most like Bendisian dialogue, where like this council of Thanagarians are giving Batman a hard time, and Batman just kind of like negotiates his way out of it, and then they explain like, oh wait, you're friends with Superman? Never mind, you're good. But it's fun because like, you know, there's a great moment where Batman and the Thanagarians, they need to get to a spot, and they're like, okay, let's go, and they get onto their platform, and he's like, hey, stop, I can't fly. Yeah. And they're like, but you have wings. And he's like, it's a cape. And they're like, that's so stupid.
Well, Superman has one of those too.
Yeah, but he flies.
But it's not the cape that makes him fly.
We assumed it was for a purpose.
Okay.
So then they give him Thanagarian flight armor.
What?
And so Batman gets to look like a Thanagarian.
Why is it themed to him?
Because it's gotta be. Because it's fun.
How is that possible?
I don't know, but it's really fun looking, so I don't complain. It's just, it's the right kind of like silver golden age like silliness, but with fun stuff. But with modern sensibilities.
What if he gets to keep that?
He does, because he gets transported back to Earth with it on. I don't think he gets to wear it the rest of the time. I think his wings get broken, but like...
They clip his wings?
They clip his wings, so to speak. But, yeah, the story is great. The action is a lot of fun. The art is chief among these books.
You know what's funny? I didn't expect to see you being a Darrington fan, and I'm glad you are.
Well, issue 1 got me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so Batman and, like, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern team up, and they have to go to Dinosaur Island.
Nice.
Which Batman is like, yay. And they have this exchange, which I think has been memed, but I like it, despite the fact that it's, like, silly. It
is a little silly, but it's fine.
Where Batman says, I love dinosaurs. And he says, you do? And he goes, I have a giant dinosaur in my Batcave. And so Batman and Hal, like, go to Dinosaur Island, and Batman is just like, this is so cool. Yeah. Like, it's like Batman getting to geek out, but without him, like, losing his dignity.
Right.
And so, you know, like, they're fighting the dinosaurs, and he's like, you gotta make sure, don't hurt the dinosaurs.
That's, okay, that's adorable.
You know, and so when they run away and they get away, he goes, like, magnificent creatures. Like, how cool.
That's fun.
And you're just like, that's, like, wow.
Right?
Oh, so Vandal Savage is behind it, and so they gotta deal with Vandal Savage.
Sure.
And so it's like, okay, fine. So... Anyway, Vandal Savage unlocks like accidentally screws up the power of the egg. In any case, they send them back to the Old West where they bump into Jonah Hex. Because, like, Ben has created a, like, descendant of Jonah Hex.
Yeah,
so
that's
Ben
right.
is clearly on, like, some kind of Jonah Hex kick.
Yeah, he remembered Jonah Hex.
Yeah, so Jonah Hex is now in the book.
Yeah.
Like, which is the like, and if you're reading it for fun, you don't care. But if you're reading it and you know it's Bendis, you're like, all right, I get it. You got your Jenny Hex fix, like, whatever. But, yeah, it's fun.
That's great.
It's really fun. I really like this book. It's just it may be a guilty pleasure, but I think it's deliberately excellent.
Okay.
Like, so I think you should read it.
That's totally fair.
Like, it's just a lovely book.
Okay.
It's got class.
I love it.
And that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I'm like, Bendis is not a hack.
No.
Like,
all right.
when he's doing something that either
he cares about,
or that editorial knows he's gonna be good at.
Right. That he's suited to.
Yeah. Like Young Justice. Like Young Justice, the first 2 issues or so, I was like, this is excellent.
Yeah.
And then I got like 2 Bendis, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here.
Right.
I dropped it like a hot potato.
Okay.
So it's also like, you also are ruining Superman. So I'm not gonna like give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But this Batman book, like, and it's really has everything to do with Darrington drawing it and giving you like a Batman that like you want to see, but also like that you've never seen.
Yeah.
So
okay,
read it. It's great.
That's fair.
It's literally it's Marvel team up, but with Batman.
I love that.
Like now it's like if ever Disney and Warner Brothers like will be allowing these 2 companies that they don't care anything about to cross over with each other again, I want Darrington to draw a Batman Spider-Man crossover.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
That's what I want. So jumping back into the super chats because there's so many.
Let's do it.
Dante Cook says, Tiffany,
Hello.
Have you read Gail Simone's run of Ren Sonja? You gave me Saga. Just wanted to recommend something back. Thank you for helping me get into the comic book world.
Thank you so much. I feel like I have one issue of that floating
You do have
around
one issue.
in my Comixology, or I picked it up in floppy. I either forgot about it, but thank you for the reminder, and I will go back and check it out. So thank you so much for the
recommendation.
For the
recommendation?
Yeah, I was like, is it or whatever?
Reminder?
Well, I was gonna say like it's like a recommendation trade.
Oh,
I don't know.
Exchange. Yeah. By the way, do you want to see Tiffany do a back issues of the Wonder Woman Conan crossover by Gail Simone? Let us know in the comments. We have 2 versions of that. We have the trade and the floppies. Yes. The fake Grant Morrison just dropped an insane amount into the super chats, and so I want to say thank you so much, man, for that incredibly generous donation. I don't even know if you're there anymore, because he says, I can't stay, but I wanted to let you know that I wouldn't be here today without unwinding on Comic Pop at the end of the day. Keep doing what you do, heart. P.S. Superior Foes come back soon from how Spencer's ASM is going. I hope that it means that Superior Foes will come back. It has a huge fan following. I think no matter what, you're going to get like a Superior Foes resurgence. Like, you're probably going to get like either a one-shot or like backdoor Superior Foes story where they take the front stage in the Amazing Spider-Man series.
Yeah.
No matter what, Superior Foes will be back. I mean, like, based on the Syndicate alone, you're gonna. I mean, Boomerang is a major player. Beetle is now folded into the main cast.
Right.
It's only a matter of time before Silverman's head starts making an appearance. Shocker's gonna show up. You know it's gonna happen. But thank you so much, Fake Grant Morrison.
Insane.
It is so generous. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching and for being a sub for so long.
Oh my god.
I know, right? Infamous Cavalier says, glad to be here. There's a really good, or glad to hear that there's a really good Batman book out there. I'll have to check it out now. Yeah, read it. Read it from issue 1. There's only 3 issues.
Yeah, go check it out.
But yeah, and Detective's pretty good. Mr. Supertastic, now I know why it's Batman Universe. It's basically Batman team up with everyone. I'm glad to meet a Bats that knows how to work with people. That's the other thing, is that Batman is like a colleague. He treats his colleagues like with respect and camaraderie. You know, like what was it? Hal makes a comment while he's with Batman where he's like, have you seen, like, they talk about how they've never been to each other's house. Yeah. And Batman's like, have you ever been to my house? He's like, you mean your palatial estate? Yeah. And he's like, that's why we don't go to your house, because we go to my house. But one of them makes a comment. I think it was actually in the previous issue with Green Arrow, where he's like, have you seen Clark lately? He's like, I saw him like yesterday. And he's like, oh, okay, so he's just avoiding me. Like, and I really like that. It was just a real moment.
That's cute.
Weeby and Geeky says, can Sony cross Spider-Man over with Warner Brothers? Would you watch? Yeah. I would watch that.
Can they?
I won't be watching anything Sony Spider-Man related for a long time, but I would watch if they did that. Sony doesn't own Spider-Man. Like, Sony owns the movie rights to Spider-Man. So if Sony were to, like, work... And that's why I was like, hey, you know what would actually make me watch a Spider-Man movie by Sony right now? If they were like, oh, okay, we'll cast Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin and make that the movie. That's how you could get me. Because really, like, while Marvel produced...
I think they can't.
I think they can.
You think they can?
I think they can, because Kingpin is owned by both companies.
Right, but I'm wondering if there was a clause in the contract when they ended it. You know how sometimes when, like...
Well, there's a clause in the contract with Netflix where Disney can't do anything with those characters. Disney can't use those characters.
Okay.
But Sony could.
Right.
And since it's Marvel TV, it's not really the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, okay.
Now, and of course, if they did it right, if Sony's smart and they actually... And Disney continues to be stupid and doesn't solve this problem with money... like they can, what's the point of being an evil mega conglomerate if you're not going to solve these problems with money? But in any case, if Disney continues to play stupid and Sony continues to, like, be this way, put Kingpin in your movie and be smart and play it like a kind of like narrow, like Kraven's Last Hunt kind of story. Don't do Kraven's Last Hunt, because I think I like the Wakan and Kraven idea better. But like a Kraven's Last Hunt story where it's like it would make sense as to why the Avengers or like Happy wouldn't be in it. They're focusing on this one story that takes 2 hours to tell.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, D'Onofrio Kingpin.
Do it.
Anyone, please. But yeah. And Mr. Supertastic, the Spawnomenon is still in full effect on GBU. Violator name is so brutal that every time I hear it, it feels like a punch in the guts. I know, Violator. Well, it's supposed to feel bad.
Yeah.
By the way, if you haven't
not
already.
Good.
I know. GBU, we put the last word. It's like the Far From Home of our endgame Spawn coverage. We did a big old backish on Spawn, and we did a little GBU on Spawn spin-offs on GBU.
It was not allowed to get away from it.
No.
I tried.
Right? No. You had to experience the Spawnomenon or Phenomaspawn.
I did.
Yeah. So what do you got? What are you recommending? Or what are you talking about?
I'm going to talk about Gotham City Monsters.
Gotham City. I saw this cover. I was like, not only will Tiffany read this, but like, is Gotham City like we have is DC like we have monsters too? Marvel.
Yeah.
We'll do a monsters book.
Well, they're in Monster Town.
Are they in Gotham?
Yeah, it's a part of Gotham.
What?
Called Monster Town.
Okay.
Now, let's be honest, everybody. I've not been keeping up with a lot of the goings-on in Gotham, but this book does a decent job of trying to catch me up that, like, Leviathan happened, and Shade was, like, dissolved, and so Frankenstein's a free agent. And he goes to Monster Town, which I'm guessing has something to do with either the Monster Men or whatever's going on with Bane, because Bane right now is taking over Gotham proper. So Gotham proper's got its own thing, but we're like, you know what, we're not hanging out there, we're slumming it in Monster Town, where a lot of, like, monstrous-looking individuals dwell.
Right.
Where monsters dwell.
If you will.
Which we can't use because I think that's Marvel.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is literally like the book is let's get the band together.
Okay.
Not back together. Just together. It's written by Steve Orlando.
Okay.
My biggest complaint about this book before we dive into this is it seemed a little all over the place.
That's too bad.
The pacing was a little off. That doesn't mean I'm not going to finish it up, because I believe it's just a mini. I think there's only 6 issues. It's a 6-issue mini. It says it ran on the cover. Which is, I don't know how I got 4 out of that. But we're getting our team up of iVampire, or Andrew Bennett is in there. He even says he's iVampire. Frankenstein, Killer Croc, and Lady Clayface, or Lady Clay.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, and Orca.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay.
She's there, too. She rips a guy's leg off.
That's cool, I guess.
But the idea is that, like, they're all going to have a clandestine meeting at one point. It does not happen in this book, which is what really kind of threw me.
Okay.
So it's like we kind of get a feel for where each of these characters are. Vampires dealing with some vampires who, like, have this weird, like, blood in them. Like, it's, like, almost like an extraterrestrial style blood. So, like, when he bites them, it doesn't hurt them. It hurts him a little bit. And they're like, haha, he ends up killing them anyway. But he's just like, what the hell?
Right.
Like,
what's going on here?
That's not cool. Killer Croc has just been discharged from the Suicide Squad. That actually happens, apparently, in Suicide Squad issue 50. By the way, thank you, editor's notes.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's what you're supposed to do.
It wasn't like, whatever. It was just like, it wasn't like, go check it out here. It was like, he was discharged in this issue.
That's so helpful.
And I was like, freaking yes.
Yeah.
So he's staying at, like, kind of like a flop house kind of, like, situation where, like, he's going for, like, job interviews and stuff like that.
Okay.
Or, like, whatever he's going to be doing.
Yeah.
And the guy who runs the place there has, like, 2 tickets to the opera.
Ooh.
And he's like, you want to go? He's like, come on, man.
Okay.
And he's like, no, I don't want to go to the opera.
Yeah.
So, Orca has been dealing with, like, pirates and other random folk, and, like, she's trying to, I guess, like, find a place where her nephew can be proud of her.
Okay.
Like, or, like, not afraid of her. You know what I mean? Like, she's trying to find her humanity in a way.
Okay.
Lady Clayface, I think that's her name.
Yeah.
You saw her for... Oh, Lady Clay. It's not Lady Clayface. I want to call her that so badly. Lady Clay, was part of Cobra, but now that's gone as well. So now she's just trying to find her way. She's... You know how Clayface did that thing where he sent out, like, he had a bunch of, like, versions of himself? She has that going on, too, where they're experiencing different things, and she's trying to figure out who she is.
Okay.
Because without a, like, leadership, she doesn't know what to do or who she is at all.
Right, right.
Frankenstein is filling his days with, like, fighting evil because, like, Shade is now gone. He's just like, well, there was one more on the list, and it's, like, this Minotaur guy. It's actually, like, a dude who's, like, infected with this, like, thing. He dispatches him. That guy's really not the purpose. But we see that, like, Frankenstein's blood doesn't, like, recoils from him at one point. Mm-hmm. In, like, almost a Venom-looking thing. And he's just like, cool, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, no.
Something's wrong here. And then, like, outside we see a mandrill is there. Or the mandrill.
Right.
But all of it culminates at the Magus theater, which is where the opera is going down. And basically he figures out that, like, these mandrills and apes and other such things are, like, trying to bring back, like, a leader, or, like, bring a leader forth, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And Frankenstein figures out it's Melmoth.
Okay.
No, you know who this is, or I think you've blocked out who this individual is. But this is where it's all going to go down. It's at this theater. Vampire shows up because he's like, you know, you and I are hunting the same person, because these vampires I fought clearly had, like, this crazy blood in them, and I think it has something to do with this, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And he's like, I bit them, and so, like, it didn't work out. And, like, Frankenstein just cuts him in two, and he's just like, you have his blood in you now.
Right.
That's bad.
So let me get it everywhere.
Yeah, it's, you're infected. And, like, Vampire's like, this isn't going to stop me, you know?
Right.
And it's just like, yeah, but whatever. Meanwhile, like, Orca, Killer Croc, and Lady Clay all have things that have meaning to them there.
Right.
Part of Lady Clay is at the theater. Killer Croc's, like, friend, who offered him the tickets, is at the theater. Orca's nephew is at the theater.
Oh no.
And, like, the mandrills use, like, magic to, like, basically kill everybody, thus allowing Melmoth to come through, who is going to be, like, he's like, let's rescue the multiverse. Now, Melmoth is a Grant Morrison creation.
Okay.
Who was, like, the ruler of Earth from 1 billion in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Or 1 million.
Okay.
And he's been in a bunch of different things, but he's back.
Right.
So that's what they're going to be dealing with. I mean, overall, do I care about Melmoth? Not particularly. Do I enjoy the dive into, like, the monstrous side of the DC universe? Yeah, I do. Especially knowing it's a mini and that, like, they're not going to be, like, struggling to find things for them to do later on. I enjoy a lot of the magical stuff from the DC universe, but I haven't really delved into the monster side of it.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in checking it out. Again, it's only 6 issues, and you know, it'll certainly be tied into a couple of things, but I'm in. I wish the pacing was a little better. And again, it was just weird. It was like, oh, clearly we're getting everybody together. Oh, okay, I guess we'll do that next issue.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
They just ran out of room.
So it could just be like you're just feeling it out, feeling the story out a little
Yeah,
bit. So
yeah,
I'm willing to give it another shot, like next issue. So, you know, check it out or not.
Cool.
It's up to you.
Oh, nice.
That's it.
All right. Amazing Spider-Man from Nick Spencer and I can't remember his Kev, I think. No, it's Francisco Mania.
Oh, it's over there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Right? In any case, it's
go.
Good.
I like the cover to this because it's almost like saying to Larson, like, this is what you're supposed.
This is what you meant to do.
This is what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah. That's what you meant to be doing. It is true. It's ridiculous. The leg is too long. But in any case, Spencer remembers that Spider-Man's dating Mary Jane again. And so they are. And basically, Spider-Man... so Mary Jane is like, I need to go take a job in L.A., she was given a new opportunity to be like an actor again.
Oh.
And we're doing the Straczynski story again where she like goes to LA, but this time she's not going mad. She's like, basically she's like, the script is too good. I can't like, but we're still seeing each other, and Spider-Man's like, you need to go.
Oh, okay.
Like, you gotta go. I'll still be here. We'll FaceTime. That exists now.
Yeah.
You know. And she's like, okay. So she goes, and she's like, and he's like, it's different. This is different now. I'm gonna take you to the airport. I'm gonna see you off. Then he goes to Aunt May to help her like paint.
Oh no!
And Aunt May, and he's like, he goes on and on about like, why can't I make it work? Blah blah blah. And Aunt May's like, you know what you need to do?
Go with her?
No.
Oh.
But like, well, she doesn't say. She's just like, you know what you need to do. You know how to make it different. Oh. And he's like, okay. So then Teresa Parker, his like sister, I guess, or whatever. The Mark Waid creation that Zdarsky put into the book and said, yeah, no, she really is a sister. Mm-hmm. She shows up and she's like, I need you to go on a mission with me to save a dude I probably banged. And he's like, I have to take
Mary Jane
to the airport. And she's like, I don't give a shit. You have to go. And he's like, yup.
No!
So he goes and he saves the day. The guy dies. Chameleon's involved, and he's late. But don't worry, because Carly Cooper helps Mary Jane with everything. Packing up, waiting for Peter, driving her to the airport, seeing her off.
Right.
So Spider-Man stops AIM and loses out on saying goodbye to Mary Jane. He then FaceTimes with her when she arrives, and she's like, I'm dating you. This is part of the deal.
Oh.
Like, I knew you weren't going to make it. And he's like, I really thought I was going to, like, fix it. That I was going to make things different.
Right.
I had every intention of making it different. And then he hangs up with her and he's like, that's why I bought her this engagement ring. And you're like, wait, what? So that happened. So Peter has an engagement ring for Mary Jane just sitting there.
Oh, he's never going to get to give it to her.
He's never
We're
going
to
to
draw this out. He's just
We're
going to have
ruin
it.
this. Because, and like, as if to like really hammer home this is never gonna work, the next book is a tie-in for Absolute Carnage.
Well, at least she's away.
Right, she's away, so she's not gonna be. Well, I just mean like, so I know we just dropped this bomb, but like, never mind that. Absolute Carnage. Like, we could literally pay off this thing in 3 years. But yeah, so one more day. What? Spencer helped write Damnation, got rid of Mephisto. Aunt May has cancer. What if she dies? Does that undo the deal? What if
maybe that's
what if
why
Spider-Man
she's getting cancer, because it's like Mephisto's not in charge anymore. Things are resetting themselves.
And that's what I hope it is.
Except that now Wade's like, oh no, but Mephisto makes deals with freaking Strange.
Yeah. But I love that idea that like now that Mephisto isn't in charge, the deals are getting unmade.
Yeah.
Or maybe maybe that wouldn't have happened, but Blaze is in charge, and he's like, "Hey, my old pal Pete, why not? Here you go."
Sorry,
Oops.
I probably should have fixed the cancer part.
I did not.
I don't really know how to do this.
Either way, I'm cool with them killing Aunt May if they do. But in any case,
let her go. It's okay.
Let her go.
She can go to Valhalla.
You've told every story you will ever tell with Aunt May.
She can make wheat cakes there for.
Yeah, exactly. For all the Vikings and Norse characters. In any case,
they would love it, and you know it.
I agree. I don't think like a lot of people were like, "Is this the undoing of One More Day?" They can do this forever.
They really can. This could be you've no idea, or it could pay off instantaneously. Who knows? And if it is, that's when it's dangerous.
Yeah.
If it's like if they wait a little bit, then it might actually stick. If they do it too quickly, then it's like they're gonna undo the undo.
It will not stick. They will not get married. That being said, they will draw out the will he ask her to marry him.
Mm-hmm.
Then
will they? Won't they?
Then he will propose. That book will sell double orders. There'll be a gazillion variant covers.
Yep.
And it'll go up to be like $45 an issue until like 2 weeks later when it'll drop down like $10 an issue. Then they'll draw out the engagement for like a year or two. Mm-hmm. And then they won't get married anyway.
Yeah.
That's how it works. And why do I know that? Because the marriage was a decision made by editorial when it happened in 87, cemented by consistent writing and continuity. But apparently the bullpen all hated it, and they all wanted it to not happen.
Yeah.
And they've wanted it to not happen despite growing fan interest and fan support for the marriage. One guy might not want this One More Day thing to happen, but that's not enough. It would have to be from the top down.
Right.
You'd have to have every Spider-Man writer and every Spider-Man editor and the editor-in-chief and the president to all be okay with it.
Yeah.
And they're not.
Well, hey, here's the thing. Maybe, though, if the Disney thing if they can't fix it, maybe they will undo it. Because they'll be like, screw you.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's married now. Who's
right?
this kid running around?
Yeah, who's that? I don't know.
It's not Spider-Man, I'll tell you that for sure.
Right? I don't know. But in any case, check it out. It's a fun issue. It's really well written. And, you know, and then the next one's a tie-in, which you're going to skip because you don't buy tie-ins because you know. Good for you. Jumping into the super chats really quick, Jack O'Connell says, I wasn't able to see any of these live all summer because of a different time zone. Love the channel. Thanks, Jack.
Well,
welcome to the
you.
show, man. And sorry about the time zone, but I'm glad you're back.
Yeah.
Welcome to the fall. Alex Sanchez, Tiffany, how do you always predict the next big thing? Who would have thought Donny Cates would be the biggest writer at Marvel? Are you some kind of witch?
Yes.
No. Yeah.
No, I don't predict anything. It's just weird coincidence.
It is, but you have an eye for talent.
Oh, thank you.
Jack O'Connell says, I really like that Spencer's keeping Teresa around. Just a personal opinion. I don't like Teresa because she doesn't really bring anything new to the table. But whatever, Mary Jane has an entire extended family that we've only seen one character from in 20 years.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of characters that they could use or not use. Mr. Supertastic says, King Thor had a really solid fight.
Yes.
Tell us more about it.
Okay. So I read King Thor this week. It's the reunion of Jason Aaron and Asad Ribic to conclude the Thor future story.
Hey, and I think Aaron's run on Thor, right?
Yeah. But, really focusing heavily on this part,
yeah,
at the very least. So have I been reading Aaron's Thor? Not really. Have I read most of the future King stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
For no reason, that was the thing I was like, yes!
This is cool.
I bet I would really like Aaron's Thor. No doubt about it. I read some of it.
And it's pretty
the Hela
cool.
stuff and whatever. I enjoy it. I absolutely enjoy it. When they had Del Mundo.
Yes.
Freaking awesome.
I know.
But yeah, this book is like a continuation of the last time we checked in with King Thor, where it's like, shit's not good.
No.
It's like, they've somehow reignited Midgard, but the rest of the universe is crumbling, and Loki has gotten a bit of a symbiote, the null
God of the symbiotes
kind of thing. Hang on, I have to find exactly what it was. There was so much there's so many words in this book. No, there's a lot of Aaron just feeling his Thor stuff. While I'm looking at this, take a look at some of this art though. Because this is Ribic, which should be great.
Yes.
And it's only great some of the time. So I went back and I looked at his work on Secret Wars, and I was like, who's the colors for that? Same guy as this.
Oh.
What I realized, though, is that occasionally they add, inking to the work, and that's where it starts falling apart.
Yes. No, Ribic does not. You don't ink Ribic's work. You use enhanced pencils.
It's really, really weird. You have pages like this.
Yeah.
You'll come to that. Where it's like, I don't understand these choices.
Mm-hmm.
I straight up don't. Some of the stuff is gorgeous.
Right.
It's just absolutely stunning. And then some of it is just stiff and this is great. I really like this page. I think this is fantastic, right? This is awesome. And then we get to the destruction of the city and it's like, why? It's just so flat.
Yeah, that is flat.
And I think it's because we're lacking Ribic's pencil shading. You can see some of it down in the corner with the rocks down there, but you don't see it anywhere else, and it's left to the colorist to do it.
Yeah.
Now, the colorist is pretty good. I've seen him, going through Secret Wars. Some of it's really great and some of it's not so great.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just I was a little shocked at times for how much I didn't enjoy the art in this book. I was really excited for it. I was very excited to be haha, here we go. It's time. So the book starts out with Thor's granddaughters. They are at the Omnipotence City, where the gods would be, and they're looking for some information. They're looking for a little bit of help, so to speak. And they come across a librarian, or what they assume is a librarian. It's one of the gods. And he's just I don't even remember what I'm the god of at this point. It's been too long. And he's basically it's all screwed up. It's all over. It's fine. We're done. We're done. Because, his name is Shadrach.
Oh, I know that name.
Shadrach.
Yeah.
Which kind of sounds I don't know. A weird spell.
Oh my god, is Shadrach from Thor versus Thanos? Let us know, eaggle-eyed comic pop fans.
Well, hang on, because he talks about Gore.
Yeah, the God Butcher. Yeah.
Right, and how Loki is now also a part of the Butcher, right? Because that's what he remember he was the worm, and then he ate his way out of it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so like now he has that power, and like he plans on killing the universe and Thor.
Okay.
So since this guy's like, it's all over, and then like they get attacked by basically Loki's birds, his ravens.
Yes.
And meanwhile, Loki finds Thor, and there's a badass fight, like straight up badass fight.
Yeah.
Between the two of them, where Thor like realizes that he's like, I always gave hope, or like that like one day Loki would come around, but Loki's always wanted me to die. Like even since we were children, he's wanted me to die.
Yeah.
And like now I'm realizing that like he has to die.
Right.
Like, damn it.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks.
Because I do love him. Yeah.
Yeah, like he never gave up hope, and now he has. Like he's just like, it is the end. He's right. Loki mentions that like where Thor put him, that he put him in like a Muspelheim fire pit with like fire vipers, and like Loki ate his way through them.
Okay.
And it burned his insides and like all this like crazy crap, and it's really like very myth about it, and there's like this really like great feeling of like ancient like lore attached to like the way these two gods speak to one another, and and it's cool. I really dig it.
Yeah.
At one point, Thor takes him to a planet where he knows there is no life left, because he's like, that way it doesn't matter, but he knows that the planet's also dying. So like Thor takes his hammer and he throws it out into the stars, goes through a star, comes back super heated,
right?
And he's just like, oh, you think fire will kill me? You think fire's gonna do it? And he's just like, no, but I think this will. And he hits the planet with it, turning it into like napalm, thus like rocketing Loki, like hurting him quite a bit.
Yeah.
That doesn't end up really mattering, because Loki ends up like basically like taking his hand, which is like it's like a
Carnage axe or whatever.
Well, no, they call it something specific. Tiffany should have written some of this stuff down, but she didn't. Instead, she just read the book and then was like, "That was cool. I'll remember." No, she won't. No, she will not. The Shadrach mentions it. The Necro Sword.
Oh, okay.
He's now all black. The Necro Sword is gone to him, so he's part of the all black.
Okay.
That's what Loki is part of.
Yeah.
So he uses his Necro Sword, which just try not to think about necromongers, everybody.
Yeah. And
he stabs Thor through his like soft underbelly section, and his entrails become his extrails. And they're like floating in space, and Loki like comes up behind him, and he's like gets in his face, and he's like, "Do you want to know how Dad died?"
Right.
And he's like, "You think he died in his sleep peacefully?" And he's like, "No, he died from me like coming in every night and whispering to him all the horrors I'd ever like done to the world or to anybody, or all the bad horrible deeds I'd ever done. Mm-hmm. He died with like my voice in his ear, like crazy and like whatever." Yeah. And like Thor's like he loses it and punches him and gets behind him, and he uses his own entrails to choke Loki. And he's just like, "Dad didn't die that way. He died because I put him out of his own misery, because he was an old man and he wasn't of his own mind, and I killed him myself. And I set him like on a fire the size of Jotunheim because it was Jotunheim."
Oh, that's dope.
And I'm like, that's amazing. Yeah. And he's like, "You want to know how Mom died?" He's like, "She died like knowing you were like the greatest regret of her life, Loki." Ugh. And then he like sends him into a sun, and I'm like, this is badass. This is so awesome. Just these two bickering god brothers, like just like in their final days, essentially. Yeah. And Thor has his moment where he's sad, but he realizes that at the end of the day, he doesn't know if the sun is enough to kill Loki, and it isn't, and it becomes like all black itself. And then he sends Thor to Midgard, where he's just like, "Thor, I'm gonna kill you, and then I'm gonna kill Midgard. I just want you to know that. That's how it's gonna go down." Right. And as Loki is like trying to like finish the job, he like suddenly has like a sword go through him. Yeah. And there's a voice behind him. It's just like basically like, "Oh, what a surprise! You two like adults or man children, basically. Cool, whatever." Yeah. And it's Gore. Oh. Gore the God Butcher is back. Okay. And we'll see what happens. So like the girls themselves are trying to like figure out how to stop this, essentially. Yeah. They're gifted a book by Shadrach that is like the tale of the God Butcher, and it has to be finished. Oh. And so one of them will finish the book itself. That's cool. And I'm like, that's neat. I like this. Like again, like this idea of lore and myth. I recommend it, because if nothing else, for that fight and that exchange between Thor and Loki, it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
That's awesome.
It was just, it was so powerful and like hate-filled.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like emotional and just so like,
yeah.
venomous.
Which is ironic.
Yes.
Pricey8040 says, Sal, stop being right. I'm sorry, man. I mean, I hope I'm not.
No,
I always
yeah.
want to be right. I don't want to be right. Like, I want to be wrong.
I always want to be right. Wait,
right.
what'd I say?
Jamcall X says, one more day must be a big factor in if Peter and Mary Jane remarry. They face down Mephisto, but reject undoing the deal, as it would be catastrophic. Showing the maturity of a wiser Peter and Mary Jane having a new beginning. Yay, love and responsibility. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? I agree with you, man.
Mephisto should make a deal with them to restore their marriage for him helping to depose Blaze as the King of Hell.
Yeah, that'd be fine. And Z-Berm says DC Giants are getting a new #1. Sorry for the confusion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, #1. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And Kevin Vu says, what upsets me is that these characters change completely because of it. They don't want Mary Jane and Peter because MJ isn't woke enough. I doubt it. But yeah, no. Sorry. Powers of X, number whatever. 4?
Yeah, this is 4 for Powers. Because remember, we had 2 House last week, so this is 4.
Yeah. And second to last issue of House of X next week. Yeah. Powers of X number 4.
Let's do it.
It's, it's Hickman. It's R.B. Silva. It's gorgeous.
Yep.
Goes without saying.
Yeah.
I think I like Pepe Larraz a little more.
I think I do too, but
you're not supposed to really like see too much of a difference.
No.
The story is more or less that like Chuck and Eric go to Sinister and they treaty with him and then like do that whole thing where it's like, let me hide the conversation we had until the right time. I'm gonna Trojan horse you.
Yeah, well, it's also like this is Powers of X. Like the Powers of X prior to this was dealing with the Apocalypse part of the story, filling in what we're missing from House of X. Clearly, this is filling in the. All right, here we come to the Sinister part of it.
Right.
What does Sinister have to do with all?
Yeah,
of
the
this?
betrayer.
Yes.
So yeah, we established that Sinister, of course, brilliant geneticist, blah blah blah. He's making all kinds of Sinister clones of himself.
He has a court.
He has a court of Sinisters.
Yes.
One of them, the leader of said court, doesn't have a cape. He sees Magneto's cape. He wants a cape. New Sinister shows up, deposes him, has a cape.
Well, the Sinister that shows up is the Sinister who has the mutant gene.
Yes. The one that he didn't agree with. The one that, like,
Yes.
this leader Sinister was like, no, I, like, theorized using the mutant gene and it was a mistake.
Right.
Like, it was a horrible idea. And then that mutant Sinister is like, whoa, well.
Well, hang on.
Let's do this. So, the whole point is we're establishing Sinister, like the Sinister we know, or we think we know.
Yeah.
And his...
With, like, his ridiculous cape.
I love Sinister's look.
It's ridiculous. He looks like a bird trying to make themselves bigger to, like, keep a predator at bay and or attract a mate.
That's probably Hickman's interpretation of said character. That being said, we're basically establishing Sinister being, like, funny and ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because we want to set up the Red Diamond, which is this, like... It's like a network of sinister facts and backwards dealings and lies.
Well, it says it at the bottom of the page. It says lies.
Yeah.
In the code.
Right, in the code it says
The
lies.
code at the bottom it says lies.
But
and I was like,
yeah, so we're setting up this like whole idea of there being these like secrets that are being revealed from Sinister. And then we're gonna like set up basically that they're all bullshit.
I guess. Yeah. How many are there? I went to go back and
I
check.
think there's 6, but
It's the next page after that.
yeah. Oh, nope. There's 10.
Yeah, like timelines?
Yeah. You mean there's X. There's X secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe there's one from each timeline.
Oh, that could be.
I
It's
don't
funny
know.
because like there's a lot
It's
of
impossible to
there's a
tell.
lot of like secrets that people
Yeah.
were speculating on, and then of course when you find out they're lies, or at least when you start to believe that they are lies, you're like, why am I spending so much time trying to figure out?
That's how I started too, and then it's like, well, who's saying they're lies though? Like
Yeah.
that's the question. Like, you know, who is like, if a liar calls a liar, what does that mean?
Right.
I don't-
They also set up the whole like one of the lies implies there's like this like orgy relationship between like Emma, Jean, Scott, and Logan.
I missed that.
And that's like what the team is for the upcoming X-Men book.
Right.
So like what's going on here?
Yeah.
But anyway, if you want to spend a bunch of time like mulling over it, you can probably like pick through what everyone's being referred to as in the Sinister book, and they're all like different time. I think they're all different timelines too, because like they talk about different eras of X-Men.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we get to what was it? Cypher is given his job to chat with Krakoa and basically like interpret what Krakoa is saying. Charles,
there's one really important panel here though.
Yeah,
it's this one.
This one?
Yep. Which I guess is like, yeah, or at least I thought it was important because it was like...
Is it because of the bubbles?
Well, no, I was going to say it's because Cypher, you can see him like, he's like touching and communicating with it.
He's interfacing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, how does that work?
Right. Well, Cypher has the ability to like...
But it's like also that like technology...
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the tech plays a huge role in this.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I guess they're literally just showing us him communicating with it, and
I think that's
but I'm wondering if like this communication or like whatever that they set up doesn't inevitably lead to that
oh yeah,
that crazy
the phalanx.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was neat. I was
it's
like,
funny
it's
because
cool because like technology plays such a big. We have this nature and also this like nature in terms of like it being a mutant.
Yeah.
But like versus like the robot, the AI future.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, either way they're dealing with technology.
Mm-hmm.
And of course like if you know your X-Men Asgardian Wars episode of back issues, you know that Cypher is not only friends with but now is like merged with Warlock, who is a technology being, and that's actually the arm. The arm is like his coloration, so it's you know.
Yeah.
So like Cypher is part technology.
Right. So it's almost like he's like communicating and or infecting.
Yeah.
Krakoa.
It could be because like you'll notice that like in the powers in the past Powers of X books, like when like the baby gets baptized and like they give you like half the technology, like it's the arm.
Yeah.
So like maybe
it's but I just wanted to I was like, that's interesting. They showed us that very specifically.
Absolutely. And then it's very deliberate. But anyway, Cypher is like, oh, it'll take me a few months to a year. And so Chuck's like, goodbye. They also refer there. Okay, so we look at like Apocalypse and the first Horseman in one of the secrets. Mm-hmm. It was like that Apocalypse had many horsemen. But if his original horseman ever came back, he would give up whoever.
He would bail on everyone.
He would bail on everyone.
We also we saw these horsemen in one of the other books.
We did.
In a panel.
Well, also these horsemen from the back all look like established Marvel characters.
Right. Well,
like for me, it looks like Scarlet Witch, Nova, Lilandra, and like
someone else.
It could be anyone. It could be Destiny. It could be like. Whatever his name is, the Wizard.
Maybe it's just Apocalypse as a type.
Yeah. Well, very much so. We know he does. So yeah, Cypher gets that backstory.
Yeah.
We go to the far future.
Yep.
Where the Phalanx comes for whatever
is
left on Earth, presumably. I don't know where we are.
It must be Earth because I think it's Earth because the Nimrod thing is there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And like remember this is the future where they have the human captives or like not captives but
the zoo.
Sanctuary.
Yeah.
For them.
Mm-hmm. But the idea being that like only robots can go and be part of the collective.
But like they have like some workaround that they're gonna do.
Well, they've got a Trojan horse or whatever that they're gonna infect the Phalanx with to try and like skip it and get into the afterlife or the collective or whatever. Anyway, so we'll see if that works. And then like the book ends.
Yeah.
So it's like what?
Well, yeah, I mean like Powers of X is meant to just like
kind of fill in the gaps.
But all like the future stuff is the stuff that I think is the most puzzling to me because I'm like what future is this of?
Yeah.
Like which timeline is the future of? I think many people are asking these types of questions.
Definitely.
But it's like where is this tying into? Why should I care about this? I get the Apocalypse stuff.
Yeah, well, that's and the Cypher stuff, like all the contemporary stuff is like, oh yeah, I get it.
Right. Well, even the Apocalypse stuff that was in the future, it made sense because that was that was Moira's life for that time, and she came back with this knowledge. The Sinister stuff, obviously, we're setting up. Not obviously. We're possibly setting up the pod people.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. But one of the things that like vexes me about like the future stuff, the Phalanx stuff, is because not only do I not care about the far-flung future, but when Hickman really does, is that like there's no Moira, or maybe there is. who is Moira in that?
Yeah, well, the fact that we haven't really seen Moira in a while
Means
is like...
It's coming.
Yeah, there was actually a moment where I was like, maybe Moira's in the helmet.
Yeah.
Like, that... How?
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure that out with the last House of X we saw, where they were doing the communication. Like, why did they need the Step for Cuckoos when Charles be able to just do it all on his own?
Right.
Unless...
In his water phone.
In his water phone. Again, it looked cool, fine. But I don't get it.
Yeah.
You didn't need to do that. No, there's no way that's her.
Yeah.
But yeah, where is she? What is she up to?
Mm-hmm.
What are you up to?
I don't know. Yeah.
Literally at this point, like, all I want is the rest of the book to come out.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
I'm
it's
just
cool.
like, this whole week-to-week thing is for chumps.
No, I know. It's for the birds.
Give me the rest of it.
Yeah, no,
It's for Sinister, puffing up.
it's still good. Yeah. It's still good. It's still, like, if you don't like it, you're not going to like it now, so I'm not going to bother saying it anymore. But,
No.
Like, but the fact is, like, if you are hooked, it's interesting, it's intriguing, they're doing it. It's...
The fact that we're on the 4th issue of Powers of X, therefore we're, like, really 8 issues into this in a way, combining the two series, and it's still...
asking questions,
mystery,
creating mystery,
while also still answering things as we go along, is perplexing. And I think it's just a tribute to, or like, it says a lot about Hickman's ability to pace his stories.
Definitely.
Because there is something to be said about pacing. I understand the idea that people are like, oh, you got to tell these like crazy stories where it's like all this like laying the groundwork, you know what I mean? Like, you know, Secret Empire style stuff where it's like, oh, and payoff and stuff like that. There is also something to just telling a story with exquisite pacing that can keep you interested, you know, from beginning to end.
Right.
So, yeah.
But check it out.
Yeah.
It's cool. Let's jump into some books that we want to recommend, we think you should check out, that are coming out this week on New Comic Book Day.
Okay.
But before we do, more Super Chats.
Super Chats!
Killa T. Storm says, hey, love you guys. I don't know if you guys read the Absolute Carnage tie-in, but it's Carnage versus Danny Ketch.
Okay.
Looks awesome. Also, and it goes exactly how you'd expect.
So
Carnage pushes Danny.
Let's chat about this for a second. I was going to pick this up, and I'm telling you, the $5 price tag on it really... Like, it killed my buzz on that one. I might go back and grab it now this week, but, like, initially I was like, $5?
Yeah, $5 for tie-ins. Eat me.
Yeah.
Forget it.
I mean, cool, because literally, you know, they're following the, like, Danny Ketch is going to be in a new series where Johnny Blaze is the king of hell still.
Yep.
And we're going to do that, and that's where this is starting. So this is, like, kind of the kickoff for that in a weird way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know how it's going to turn into for that, but it's like, hey... dip your little toe in the water and then see how you're feeling about Danny Ketch being here. But yeah, that, like, I was like, $5?
Right.
No.
No. But yeah, I assume the Carnage pushes Danny into some garbage and then rides his motorcycle.
I assume it's probably something like that. And then a bunch of people come out and laugh at him.
Yeah. CJ Levin helps us out so very much. Thank you so much, CJ. That's very kind of you and generous.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Fallon Tiff just dropping in to say hi. You guys are awesome. You're awesome, man. Thank you. You're breathtaking. Hope to see you at some con in the future. We hope so too, man. Maybe Baltimore. Probably Baltimore.
We're going to Baltimore.
We're going to Baltimore.
Are we not going? Was there a chance we're not going to Baltimore?
A friend of mine's coming to town, so.
Oh, that's right.
But we're going to Baltimore, so we'll see you in Baltimore.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, but we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Let's jump into some books we recommend. Obviously, House of X number 5. Xavier's dream turns deadly for some from his students.
An apocalypse rises out of a swamp.
Oh no. Like, thanks for the solicitation. Obviously, it's not going to tell me anything.
No.
But yeah, House of X number 5 of 6. Coming out.
It's just, like, crazy.
I know.
It's like, I really want it, but I also don't want it to end. I know I just said I want the rest of it, but I'm like, but I don't want it to end.
No. Well, hopefully it keeps the momentum going for the X-Men ongoing.
Right. Yeah.
TARDIS Man 85 says, Tiff, I think you'd like Blade Runner 2019.
I haven't seen it. You guys went and saw it.
No, there's a comic book.
Oh, a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 2019, not the thing I read it as.
Yeah. I think it's 2029. I think it's 2049. But, like, there is a comic book for Blade Runner as well.
I'll have to check that out.
I know.
That might be, yeah.
Right. Apparently it takes place in 2019, so there you go.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I never saw 2049.
You should.
Not because I didn't want to. The night you guys were going to see it, it was like a toss-up between, like, I had to be at work the next day and the time you guys were going.
Yeah.
It's not going to work out. And then we just never saw it after that.
I know, right? I can't believe it even exists. I can't believe that movie was made. Carnage number 3 of 4. That's it. 2 out of 3. Like, so.
Wow.
Second to last issue. Absolute Carnage is fun. It's cool. It's fine. Like, it's not blowing any, like, minds.
Summer of Slaughter continues.
Yeah. Why not? Carnage rules.
Carnage rules. How are they going to call it that post? Isn't fall starting soon?
Yeah. They better figure it out. Better get it out. Better get it out soon.
That's right.
It only has to continue, and then it can end in issue 4.
Okay.
But yeah, what are you recommending?
I'm going to mention that Valkyrie Jane Foster #3 is coming out, so if you're
cool.
enjoying that series, you go check that out. I'm going to say Once in Future #2, the Kieran Gillen book.
From Boom Studios.
From Boom Studios is coming out. I think Once in Future 1, like a 5th or 4th reprinting, is also coming out this week. So if that says anything to you, go for it.
Right.
Badass grandma and, like, crazy supernatural monsters.
Yeah.
It's just literally, it's everything I've ever wanted. The cover that I see, that I have up is grandma with Excalibur.
Nice.
Excalibur, man!
Dope.
Grandma.
Just League 32 is coming out.
Okay.
It's cool. Check it out.
All right.
More stuff. Howard Porter's drawing it.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah. And more.
Okay.
But, hopefully it's wrapping up.
Right on.
And also, J.J. Abrams and his son are writing a Spider-Man miniseries called SpiderMan. It introduces a new villain whose name is Cadaverous. So, like, if you ever, like, make huge, expensive movies that everyone goes to see...
Yeah, you can write a comic.
And then have a son who wants to write Spider-Man, you can get that done.
Oh, there's a fun father-son
bonding experience. Yeah. Quipel's drawing it, and Sarah Pichelli. I think Quipel's doing the covers and Pichelli's doing the interiors.
Yeah, I honestly don't like the cover that they have.
The cover is by Quipel. It is
not good.
The worst thing he's ever drawn.
It's really not good. But that said, there are a lot of variant covers, and so on my list, I want to check out the Chip Kid variant.
Of course you do.
Because here's the thing.
Chip Kid is an amazing design.
I like Chip Kid. I know his convergence stuff kind of fell flat for a lot of
people. You loved his convergence stuff.
I thought they were really cool. I know a lot of people didn't dig them, and that's okay. I totally understand that. But the guy also did develop the Jurassic Park logo, or the cover for it.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
I'm just saying.
The cover, not the logo.
The cover, but that's where they took the inspiration from.
For the logo, exactly. Oh yeah, no, definitely.
But like his, it looks interesting. I want to see it in person because
Yeah.
it has a die cut.
Oh, that's great.
So I want to know what part is die cut on this.
Yeah.
I assume it's the spider,
right?
But I don't know. It's very interesting. It either in person could be great or not. So I wanted to mention that there are a lot of variants for that book, so you don't have to get the Quipel cover if you don't want.
I don't.
Savage Sword of Conan #9 will be coming out this week. That's the Jim Zub Conan book that used to be the Jerry Duggan Conan book. This is Conan in the Demon's Den. Like, it's the gambling one, but now he's like in the Sarlacc. Or not the Sarlacc pit, the Rancor pit. And the last thing I'm going to mention, I just kind of saw this there, and I was like, all right, I'll poke him, take a look at it. I might grab the first issue of it, and that might be it. It's a Keith Giffen book.
Yes.
With art by Jeff Lemire called Inferior 5.
Oh, okay.
It looks to me like a power pack kind of thing.
Cool.
Where it's literally like, there's like an invasion, strange going on after the invasion that rocked the DC universe, but only 5 misfit kids seem to notice them.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll check it out. It's a miniseries. It's 12 issues though, kind of a lengthy miniseries.
Yeah, that's like a Tom King miniseries.
Yeah, it's kind of too long, but we'll see what they've got going on there. Like I said, like I'll probably check out the first issue, see what's going on, but I don't know. Yes, Conan!
Yeah. Keith Giffen, man, he and DeMatteis wrote the Justice League International run.
Yeah.
He created the Heckler.
Yeah, that part I could do without.
But also Lunatic. Who are those characters? Check out our obscure Marvel and obscure DC episodes of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But that's after you watch the latest episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is out now with Spawn spinoffs. Check that out. Of course, we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us and reading/reviewing comics. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. If you want to see us in person, come to New York Comic Con. We'll see you guys there. We're going to be at the Valiant booth at some indeterminate amount of time in the future. Check the community tab for details about that and the meet and greet, which will be at the DC booth, and so much more. Check out this channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications, and of course, if you want to help us out a little extra, you can go to patreon.com/ComicPOP to see if those rewards are right for you. You get early access and stuff. No pressure. Exactly. No pressure. But yeah, so thanks a lot for hanging out with us, and we'll see you guys next time. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long, everybody.
Bye, guys.